Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, what we're going to talk about this morning on this episode of the Bullet Points, I think is going to start your Monday off right. Now, I'm sure you guys are very familiar with the concept of red flag laws, extreme risk protection orders, ERPOs, if you will. This is one of the tools that is being used by gun controllers and by gun controlling state as the answer to the gun violence question, right? We all know that. We're all aware of it. In fact, they just passed something in the Senate, the Bipartisan Gun Control Act, or Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which is all about funding red flag laws in the state level. We talked about it a lot. However, what I'm about to show you is an actual article from the AP saying they're not being used. Now, as we go through this, I just want to say it out loud for anybody who's questioning this. The information I'm going to present is not an advocacy for red flag laws. What I'm about to show you is the reason, at least in my opinion, why they're not being used as much, and also how they're pretty much an ineffective tool, a violation of due process, and a violation of the Second Amendment rights. But beyond that whole chestnut, that's what we're going to talk about. Everything is linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to share this with you guys, and let's just dive in, because like I said, you guys want to hear this. All right, so article, again, AP, this is a mainline media source. Red flag laws get little use as shootings and gun deaths soar. Okay. Well, we knew they weren't being used that much. In fact, the state that uses them most might surprise you here in a second. Check this out. Chicago is one of the nation's gun violence hotspots and a seemingly ideal place to employ Illinois' red flag law that allows police to step in and take firearms away from people who threaten to kill. But amid more than 8,500 shootings resulting in 1,800 deaths since 2020, the law was used just 4 times. So immediately out the gate, there's something there, right? There's something askew in the data. Something is not adding up. If you have the most gun violence in the entire nation, but you also have red flag laws in place, shouldn't you have the most red flag law seizures, if that is according to your ethos or your mentality or your approach? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense on paper, does it? Unless you're considering that criminals aren't going to be the ones who are going to have red flag laws against them, and it's only law-abiding citizens. And now we start to get into the critical flaw of this entire gun control push. This is not just about something that's going to affect all Americans. This is something that's going to affect the legal, the law-abiding. That's one of the things that we're consistently saying on the gun rights advocacy side. This is going to affect legal, law-abiding Americans without due process in an ex parte court, without being able to face your accuser. Meanwhile, the criminals are still going to criminal. We're going to get to that in one second, but this is some damning data. It's a pattern that's played out in New Mexico, with nearly 600 gun homicides during that period and a mere 8 uses of its red flag law. And in Massachusetts, with nearly 300 shooting homicides and just 12 uses of its law. So again, there's even more data that says you've got red flag laws in place and yet nothing is happening. These aren't working. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think red flag laws are the right solution. You guys can make up your own mind. But for this amount of disparity in the data, something's going on. I also think you're looking at law enforcement officers who actually respect the Second Amendment and aren't going to initiate that process. The left likes to go, well, people just don't know about it. That's obvious. It's obvious they don't know about it because they couldn't reject our plans and laws that are unconstitutional. They would never do that. So it's clearly education, which we'll get to in a second. Oh, goodness. Wait till you see the state. I can't wait to show you the state. An Associated Press analysis found many U.S. states barely use the red flag laws touted as the most powerful tool to stop gun violence before it happens, a trend blamed on a lack of awareness of the laws and resistance by some authorities to enforce them, even as shootings and gun deaths soar. My personal opinion on this is you're seeing law enforcement officers who are not going to infringe upon people's Second Amendment rights or their due process rights. That's my own personal opinion. You're also seeing criminals not be affected by these laws, which is why you don't have a full use of them. I don't believe that it's just, oh, people don't know about it. If you're going to be a gun controller, you're going to know about that. But anyway, I've got a graph for you because you know how I bring graphs. Look at the state that has the most seizures under red flag laws. Oh my gosh. It's the evil Florida, the gunshine state. Florida is number 1, not just by a small margin, by a long shot. 5,872 total at 33.6%, 33.6 per 100,000 people. Mainline gun control states: Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, New Jersey, California, New York, Rhode Island, Oregon, Vermont, Colorado, D.C., Illinois. blows them away. Florida, in fact, has almost more than all of those combined. So how can a state that is known as the gunshine state, known as gun rights state in the South with all the vitamin D, have more gun seizures through red flag laws than all of the gun control states who are saying they are common sense gun reform states? They are all about infringement on the Second Amendment for the safety of their citizens. Is it just me, or does something just not make sense? And I'm going to wrap this video with this little chestnut right here, because this is what I think is going on. Asked why Chicago had so few red flag firearm restraining orders, police spokesman Thomas Ahern said many of the city's gun killings are committed with illegally owned firearms. Aghast, shock, no, stop, can't be. The whole point here is all the laws that they're passing, whether they're red flag laws, or they're mag bans, or they're AR bans, or whatever you would want to ban or have some sort of infringement, they're only going to affect the legal and the law-abiding because they listen to the laws. I don't understand why this is so difficult, but you're seeing it in real time across the board, and that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments field below, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.